Welcome back, dear viewer. This year we got a couple of upgrades, and this is one. This is what I'm calling my seedling house. It is a temporary greenhouse. Come on, I'll show you all about it. So this is the Bloom walk-in greenhouse. So it has a heavy-duty clear PVC cover and heavy-duty powder-coated steel framework. The couplings, I believe, are plastic, if I remember putting it together. This is a temporary sort of greenhouse, so it's not like a year-round, leave it forever kind of greenhouse, but it is great for these transitional seasons. As you can see here on the box, it is 76.7 inches tall and 58.2 inches wide and 57.4 inches deep. So I have been using this greenhouse to take the edge off of some temperatures. So earlier in the early spring, late winter, I was using it for my cold weather crops, think lettuce and onions, during the day, just to give a little added boost in temperature. If it was really sunny, I would need to leave the door open. That's how I have it right now. It's a pretty sunny day because it does heat up a good bit in there. And cold weather crops don't want it too warm. But it also gives me a place to put them outside if it's raining and I don't want them to get too rained on. So as it warmed up outside, you can see I've got my seedling table over here. The cold weather crops would just hang out on the table. Okay, but then overnight, if it wasn't getting down to freezing, well, okay, so I did leave some of the lettuce in there on nights when it got down just to freezing. They were fine. I would move these into the seedling house overnight if it was going to be freezing. And they would get just a little bit of extra protection from the weather. So the cold weather crops would hang out here on the table during the day, and then overnight they would go into the seedling house. Okay, as it got not quite as cold, so if we're talking in the mid 30s overnight, I would take like the onions and the chamomile and some other things and just leave them in the seedling house overnight. So again, as it's been getting a little bit warmer, it hasn't been, not every day has been warm enough for things like peppers and tomatoes. Now I don't have them out yet. I haven't moved the peppers and tomatoes out yet today, but I'm about to do that shortly. So on days when it's like 40 degrees outside, 38 degrees outside, really too cold for peppers and tomatoes, I would bring those out here and put them in the seedling house and close the door. And it would get warmer inside. It would definitely stay warmer, 40 degrees or more. If it was sunny, definitely more. And now that it's, we're in sort of the 50s during the day for the most part. On cloudy days, sometimes I close the door here with the peppers and the tomatoes in it to keep them a little bit warmer. It heats up pretty well in here when it's sunny. So when it is sunny, I leave the door open. Right now it's a good 5 to 8 degrees warmer just stepping inside than it is outside. We've got 2 levels of shelves on each side, one here and one here. Same over here, 2 levels of shelves. This little thing, this is a different company. I actually got this for free. Somebody was giving it away. And I have it in here So I've got an extra layer of protection overnight or extra warmth during the morning. You can see I have my hibiscus in here right now. This is the warmest spot, right in here. But the bloom greenhouse has 1, 2, 3, 4 shelving spaces. And each of these little blocks easily holds one of my 10 by 20 trays. There's even a little space in the center. You can put something small. There's also ground level shelving. I don't use the ground level shelving too much unless it's like a really windy day. All right, here's how trays fit. Pretty good, right? I could put 2 more on the ground if I wanted to. Same over here. All right, in here, so this is their first day outside. So I've got them here in this little shady spot, which is nice to have. And it's their first day outside too, but they're brand new, so it doesn't matter too much that they're shady. But I've got them in sort of dappled light right now. Even inside your little tiny seedling house, you can have a microclimate. I'd also tell you that if you can imagine, this corner back here is warmer. It's got this and that, and then clearly inside here is warmer. I might move those down a shelf, actually. So that's the seedling house with lots of plants in it. Nice, huh? Okay, let me show you a couple more things about this. We anchored it with these like heavy-duty stakes. And we've got several around. I think we've got like 2 on each side, I think. And that has really helped the frame stay steady in the wind. Let me back you up. Not trip over my garden bed here. All right. So that helps the frame stay steady in the wind. In higher wind, I do like bigger gusts. It is important to keep this closed. That helps it manage the wind better. We've had gusts into like 50 miles per hour or so, and it's held up really well. The frame is anchored down. I did have plants outside one day when we had pretty high wind gusts like that, and that's the day that I put everything on the ground, and I took all of these little shelves off, and the whole thing rattled, but it stayed put, and the plants were fine, and they got some sun. The other thing I'll point out is that I did need to do a little bit of my own repair work. I don't know if you can see, this is clear packing tape along the seam here. I taped it on the inside. And I tried to do that along the zipper, but clearly it's just not going to stick very well to the zipper. I could sew it back together through the packing tape and it would probably hold pretty well. That was so this wasn't even necessarily like wind damage, this was just use. From use. And see, like around each spot like this, we've got like an open hole where it's anchored. That's the only real drawback. You know, I don't think this is gonna last like tons of years or anything. Whoa, that's a garden bed. But it is just a temporary greenhouse. What else can I tell you? Yes, so we have good anchors in it to help hold the frame steady, and that does really well in higher wind gusts. It does get really warm in there. There's no like There's no vent in the ceiling, as you can see. So if you close the door, it does get pretty warm. So you do have to manage not cooking your seedlings. And say it does get down to freezing overnight, it doesn't protect, the temperature doesn't protect too much. You get maybe like a degree or two of frost protection if it freezes at night, which honestly is enough for what I need it for. I'll give you a little walk around here. Don't they look happy in there? I look happy about them in there. So yeah, this has been so far this year an invaluable tool to help me get the plants outside more often. Okay, it protects a little bit at night from colder temperatures, and it warms up faster during the day and keeps it doesn't keep a lot of that heat overnight or anything, but it does take the edge off. That's what it does. It takes the edge off. It also gives me the opportunity to put things out when it's a little too windy or rainy for plants because they have a little bit of cover. It's just been super helpful, and the plants have loved it. All right, I'll give you one more shot of the box over here so you can remind you what it is. Zoom in. So we're talking about the Bloom walk-in greenhouse. So, welcome to my seedling house, everybody. I'm super pleased. That's all for now. Bye.